cannot join us, so that they can be caught up on everything as well. It's so great to see you all. It's crazy to think in just a couple weeks we'll all be here. Very exciting. Great, we're just waiting on a couple more people and we can get started. Awesome. Everyone is so on time. We're going to give it one more minute to let the last few people join us, and we'll jump right in. And I'll start by giving you kind of a rundown of what we're going to do today, and then we'll get into all the meaty stuff. Thanks. Awesome. I think we are almost all here. Fantastic. And for now, keep yourselves muted, and then we will jump. And then we'll have a little bit of time to asking everyone to speak. So if you can find a quiet space and be able to turn on your camera, that would be awesome. But for now, try and keep yourselves muted. All right, I think we are going to jump right in, and we'll let those who are a bit late join us as we go. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead, share you to the presentation so you can kind of follow along with me here. Welcome everybody to the second pre-program webinar. A lot of you have been to our first webinar and Masah's first webinar, but there are some new faces, so welcome. We're really excited to have you joining us. Today we're going to go through a bit of introductions, getting to know Panina and I a bit better, getting to know you guys a little bit. We'll go through some logistical updates, some important things we want to stress again, and then we'll head towards giving you an idea of what to expect with the program starting. We'll have an alumni from this previous year come to speak a little bit about his experience and some advice he has, and then we'll wrap up with reminders about what's coming next. Of course, in there we'll have some time for questions. And yeah, if anything comes up, feel free to throw it in the chat and we'll get to it when there's time for questions. I'm going to go ahead and throw the microphone over to Panina to start with introductions a bit and also talk about the mission and vision of the program.
Great. Hi, thank you. Hi, everyone. Most of us met before, but I'm gonna take a step back, introduce myself, introduce kind of like what's bringing me to this program. Before jumping into the mission and vision and kind of like maybe speaking a bit in a broader picture, we're gonna take a minute and we're gonna do some self-introduction. And we're going to ask everybody to introduce themselves with a different twist to the plot. So just a little about me. I'm Panina. I'm born and raised in Israel. spent some time doing different jobs in the US, working with the Jewish Agency from New Orleans to Milwaukee and Wisconsin. Did a bunch of stuff in college campuses and federations and JCCs. And when I came back to Israel a few years ago, it was very clear to me that I want to continue my journey with my Jewish life and with my social activism part. And very naturally, I got connected to Bina, which is the Jewish Movement for Social Change, and found my place here running programs for people from outside of Israel coming to Israel to experience stuff, but also for people from Israel going outside and exploring some stuff over there, as well as Jewish communities all over the world that are seeking to connect with our values and our different way of looking at Jewish life. I'm gonna stop now and I'm gonna hand it over to you guys, and I'm gonna ask you to please say your name, say where you at right now, which track are you going to, and if you had to have one layover somewhere before getting to Israel, assuming COVID is not a thing and everybody can travel wherever and kind of like just do a fun vacation stop before starting this year, where would it be and why? Can be super quick and short and can be a funny story about yourself. We just want to know. So who you are, where you are right now, which track you're heading to, and if you had to take a layover somewhere, where would it be? Who wants to start? And then we're just gonna pass it on between us, kind of like popcorn style. So first volunteer would be?
I'll go because I'm in the middle of a busy street right now. Hi, I'm Zev. If you are anyone who knows me in a legal sense, I'm Nathaniel. Right now, I am in the Old Port area of Montreal, so just standing by a bunch of shops right now. I'm in the Tel Aviv Beit Shan track, and if I had to lay over anywhere, I mean, this would be physically impossible because I'm coming from Canada, but I just want to go to Japan mostly because I just want to see the rampant consumerism and also experience some of the old ancient culture there.
Cool. Now, Zev, you need to pick someone and just pass it on to them.
All right. Let me see participants. Let's give it to Cassandra White.
Hi everyone, I'm Cassandra. I'm currently in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm gonna do the Tel Aviv Nazareth track, and if I could stop anywhere, it'd probably be London because I have some family that lives there and I haven't seen them in a while, so yeah. And I'll give it off to CJ Torsolini. Sorry if I completely butchered your name.
No, you got it, no worries.
No, you got it, no worries.
So I'm CJ, I'm currently in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm doing the Tel Aviv Ra'at track, and I'd probably say do a layover in Venice, Italy, just because I've always wanted to go. Yeah, I'll pass it off to Alexis Silverman.
Hi guys. I don't know if my camera's working. I can't even see myself. So hopefully you can see me. I am Alexa. I am in Kittnersville, Pennsylvania right now at sleepaway camp, but leaving very soon. I'm doing the Tel Aviv and Beit Shan track. And if I could lay over anywhere, I would probably agree with Zev. I really want to go to Japan, but either Japan or Prague, probably. And I'm gonna pass this to Emily Murphy.
Hi guys, I'm Emily. I'm right outside of Philadelphia right now. And if I could lay over anywhere, I think right now would be Morocco. My friend has family there and I've been dying to go. Let's pass it to Devin.
Hey guys, hopefully you can hear me. I'm using like the oldest earphones on the face of the planet. I'm currently in Atlanta, or at least 45 minutes out. I'm going on the Tel Aviv Bet Shean track, and if I could lay over anywhere, it'd probably be like Ireland or Scotland. I've always liked the idea of it. Don't really know much about what's going on there, but I like the concept. I'll pass it on to Jacob Steyer.
I knew you were gonna pick me. My name's Jacob. I'm from New York. If I could lay over anywhere, I hate to be a broken record, but I'd pick Japan too. And that's just because I like anime and stuff. If I
Which track you're going to?
I'm doing Tel Aviv Nazareth. I'll pick Carson.
Hello. My name is Carson. I am doing the Tel Aviv Rahat track. If I could go anywhere in the world, I would go to Istanbul. And well, I mean, the history, the food, everything about the Ottoman culture. Anyway, I don't know. I'm going to pick, let me see, Michaela.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm doing the Tel Aviv Ramla track, and I would love to go anywhere in Italy. Oh, yeah, I have to pick someone, I forgot. Let's see. Norm, it's all you.
Hey everyone, I'm Norm. I'm currently at my friend's cottage just north of Toronto. I'm on the Tel Aviv Ramla track, and if I had to pick one place to lay over, if I had to pick somewhere I haven't been, I think I'd probably also steal from Zev, pick Japan. That's where I was hoping to go before all this started. The food, culture, history, all that's great. And then if it was somewhere where I had already been, I think I'd pick Barcelona. Similar thing, food, culture, and the partying certainly doesn't hurt. Okay, sorry, my screen's kind of weird, so I don't know who's gone. I will pick Anna. Have you gone? Yeah, okay. And I'm picking Anna. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Anna Eisman, and I am currently in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm going on the Tel Aviv and Beit Shean track, and if I had to go anywhere that I haven't been, I would pick Honduras because me and my friends were discussing going on a trip, and my friend has family in Honduras, and I really want to go and just take beautiful photos of the nature there and experience that culture. And I'm going to pick, let's see, let's do Justin Weiss.
Hey, I'm Justin. I just moved back home, so I'm in the Detroit area in Michigan. I'm on the Tel Aviv and Beit Shean track. And like Norm, if I could go anywhere, I would definitely go to Barcelona. Last year, I was studying in Spain, and I've been wanting to go to Barcelona for a while. And somehow, I was in Madrid. I just never made my way to Barcelona, and it's somewhere I know I got to go. And I'll probably go there on my way back from Israel. Oh, and I got to choose someone. Let's see. Emma, if you haven't gone.
Yes, I have not gone. Hi, everyone. My name's Emma. I am from New York City, but I'm currently right outside of Charleston, South Carolina. And I'm going on the Rahat track. And if I could go anywhere right now, it would be super out of the way, but I've like always been dreaming about going to Thailand. So yeah, it's a good idea. Maybe I'll take a stop there afterwards too. And I'll pass to who hasn't gone yet. Marielle, have you gone yet?
No, I haven't. So hi, I'm Marielle. I'm doing the Tel Aviv Ramla track. Right now I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and following you. So I'm gonna repeat you, Thailand. That's also where I'd go. I had a bunch of family go 2 Christmases ago. Pictures were amazing. I'm dying to go. So not to repeat. And then who hasn't gone yet? Josh, have you gone yet?
No, I haven't gone. My name's Josh. I'm from North London. I'm doing the Tel Aviv Ramla program as well. If I go to one place, stop off, I would go to Sana'a in Yemen. It's quite a road choice, but I think all the best food in Israel and the best music comes from Yemen. So I'd be really interested to see all the Jewish heritage around Yemen. And I'm going to pick, what's it called? Alex Yam.
Hey all, I'm Alex. I'm currently in Santa Cruz, California, which is just outside of San Francisco. I am going to be on the Tel Aviv Rahat track. And if I was going to go anywhere, I'd go to Buenos Aires. I've always really wanted to go. I've just seen such beautiful pictures. And yeah, let me, who hasn't gone? How about Lauren?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm currently in Palo Alto, California. If I were to stop anywhere, it would be Ghana because I was supposed to go to Ghana for a year abroad and it got canceled. And I'm on the Tel Aviv Rahat track. And then who hasn't gone? Matthew, have you gone yet?
I have not. Hi, I'm Matt. Normally I'm in Cincinnati, but at this exact moment, I'm in Las Vegas right now. I'm on the Nazareth track, and if I could lay over anywhere on my way to Israel, I would definitely go to Prague. Echoing, I think Alexa there also said Prague. And I will pass it off to Gabby.
Hi everyone, I'm Gabby. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California also, like Michaela. And right now I'm in upstate New York. I'm on the Tel Aviv Ramla track. And if I was gonna lay over anywhere, I would go to Madrid for sure. Who hasn't gone? Anybody?
Just kind of a reaction on the screen if you haven't gone yet.
I'm also on my phone, so like I don't know if I can see everybody, but Batya? Awesome.
Thank you. I was taking a long time to figure out what emoji I want to use. Okay, reaction, whatever. Can you hear me? Yeah, thumbs up. Or voice, whatever. Okay. So I'm from Los Angeles. I'm on the Tel Aviv Ramla track. And if I could lay over anywhere, it would either be Uganda or South Africa. South Africa because I have family there, and then Uganda because one of my childhood friends lives there. So yeah. I have to pick someone. I forgot about that. Let me see. Gray.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, sorry, I was struggling to make this work. So we're doing intros. Okay, my name's Gray Sharp. I'm in Dallas right now. I think I'm doing Ramla, and then I'm going to be on vacation actually in Georgia, Armenia, Egypt, and Qatar right before I'm actually flying from Georgia to Tel Aviv. So I probably don't need a layover. That's that. I hope that worked.
And Greg, you just need to pick someone and pass it on.
Okay. Who else is there? So anybody without a hand up, right? Matthew?
Anybody who has the hand up.
Oh, who doesn't have the hand up? Okay. Claire.
Thank you. Cool. Okay, so I'm Claire. I usually live in Chicago, but right now I'm actually in Brooklyn, New York with my sister. I'm going to be here until I leave. If I was going to lay over anywhere, I actually am also laying over somewhere already. I'm going to Copenhagen to visit my best friend. She's Danish and she lives there. But if I could lay over somewhere more fun, just because I've already been there to see her, I'd pick Nairobi, Kenya, because I'm obsessed with giraffes. I'm like 6 feet tall, so I really relate to them on a spiritual level. But I'm on a Tel Aviv Beit Cheyenne track, and I think that's everything I had to say. Has anyone not gone? Oh, I can't see names. I'm also on my phone. Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm from North London and I'm doing the Israel Rahat track. And I've always wanted to go travel around like Asia, Thailand. Yeah, I've always been interested in going there. And I'm going to pick Dalia and Louis.
Hi guys.
Hiya.
I'm Dalia.
I'm Louis.
We're from Manchester.
Yeah.
But we're currently in Ramla. We're in quarantine in Ramla. We wouldn't want to lay over anywhere else but
Go
here
Ramla.
because it's
Ramla's
been such
amazing.
a hassle to get. We'll pass it to iPhone.
We haven't said what we're on.
Oh, I'm on Tel Aviv and Ramla.
I'm on the Tel Aviv and Bet Shan.
All right, I think that's me. Sorry, I've been trying to figure out how to put my name on my phone. It's my first time doing it on here. My laptop's not working, concerningly, but I'll get that sorted out. I'm David. I'm with my parents right now in Westchester, New York, just north of the city. I've been here a bit too long now, so I'm looking forward to getting moving. I'm going to be doing the Tel Aviv Nazareth program. And if I had to lay over anywhere, I'm split between Dublin, where one of my best friends just moved, or also Thailand, Vietnam, which is a trip I wanted to do before COVID hit. So hopefully sometime soon I'll get around to that. And I'll pass it to Leah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Leah or Leah Eve. You can call me either one. The full name is kind of a mouthful. My camera isn't working right now, so I'm working on that. So sorry about that. Okay, what else? I'm on the Tel Aviv Ramla track. I am just outside of Syracuse, New York, which will probably only mean anything to New Yorkers. And if I could go anywhere, probably Mongolia or China. I was planning on doing a 2-year peace mission. What's it called? I can't remember the name of the program, but in Mongolia. But then COVID hit and I found this program, which is a little bit shorter, which works for my grad school plans, and China because I was an anthropometry major in undergrad, and China's always really fascinated me. So yeah, is that everybody? I think that's everybody. All right, I think that's everybody. So I'm just gonna say bye.
Great. We're gonna pass it to Samantha, and then if you didn't go yet, then feel free to unmute yourself and speak.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Hi, everyone. I've spoken to all of you, and I know that for a fact. My name is Samantha, in case you've forgotten. You can also call me Sam. I know all of my emails say Samantha, but I think we're at the point. I'm currently in Tel Aviv. I am not going on this program, so I can't tell you which track I'm going to be on, but I will be with all of you. And let's say the opposite way, because eventually I will go home. And if I could stop anywhere on the way home, it would be in Barcelona to see my family there. So yeah, and it's so great to hear everyone speak to each other. This is so exciting. Kanina's going to talk just a little bit more about the mission and the vision of this program before we jump into logistics and then what we can expect.
Thank you, Sam. I'll say that Sam maybe didn't mention it, but she used to be a participant, so she knows the experience in firsthand. She was here during COVID first hit a year and a half ago. So she knows the difficulties and the flexibility aspects of being a participant. So she didn't say that, but I'm just gonna throw you into the waters and say that she knows. When she says she's experienced that, then she actually did. I'm going to say just a few words about the mission and vision of the program, because we have been speaking about that a lot in the past webinar, just us, and in the bigger webinar with Masad, that we had our breakout room and everything. So I don't want to just repeat myself, but I'll just maybe say from my own personal, if we're in introductions and getting to know each other kind of a point of view, I'll say that from my own personal connection, I feel like this program is one of the most unique opportunities to young adults to come to Israel and not only experience from your own perspective and kind of like explore your own Jewish identity and your connections and get to know people and live a year in Israel, kind of like a gap year, but it's actually changing people's lives. It changes the kids' life that you're going to meet. It changes the community lives you're going to be a part of. It changes our life as staff, and it's going to definitely change your life as participants. And I see that Zach joined us, but his time will come in a few, and he can tell you a bit more about his experience. But really from the most naive place, we always kind of like sign off saying that that it's going to be a year, an experience of a lifetime, and that we can definitely guarantee that. So with the mission and vision, or kind of like the bigger picture of that, I'll say that, as you know, the program kind of revolves three circles. The first one of them would be the work and volunteer at school. The second would be the volunteer in the community. And the third would be the enrichment and education program that's happening. And you all have the PowerPoint and the pre-program booklet that has all the explanations, and we've already gone through that. But there's so many different components, and at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you what you're going to choose to take on your own and make it work. That's going to be, that's how your experience is going to look like. With that being said, because we have way too many interesting things besides me, I'm going to pass it on to Sam. We're going to go over a quick logistics just to make sure we're all on the same page 3 weeks prior to your arrival. And yeah, Sam.
Sorry, I got lost for a second here. Okay, cool. So some of this will be things you've already heard that are very important, so we're going to say them to you again. And some of it may be new. Stick with us, it's all important. So pre-arrival procedures. I sent out a packet a couple weeks ago, and then again on I think almost every email I've sent you over the last 2 weeks about updates regarding entry permits, the arrival process, your visa, important things to get you and keep you in Israel. The most important thing, or not the most important thing, one thing that should give you some peace of mind is that we will be organizing your entry permits for you, meaning you don't need to talk to your consulate or anybody about getting your pass to come into Israel. We will send that to you between 5 days and 24 hours before the start of the program. And you'll need that along with a couple of other documents that are all listed in this packet and in several emails to board your flight. That includes your negative PCR test, your MASA program participation letter in Hebrew, and that's what you need to board the plane. I mentioned that PCR test you needed to get before you get on the plane. When you get here, you'll get another PCR test at the airport. We will then bring you to your new homes for the next 5 months, and you'll begin a 24-hour quarantine while you wait for the results of those PCR tests. And then during the first week of the program, we'll organize you serological tests so that you can get your green pass, which will allow you entry into larger events, these types of things. As regulations changes, it may be more or less something you'll need on a day-to-day basis. Once you're here and all settled in, we will organize your visa for you. In order to get that visa, you'll need to bring with you a birth certificate, either an original copy, a notarized copy if you're outside of the US, or if you're in the US, a certified copy. That, along with your MISA participation letter and your complete visa application, and the little blue slip that you get at the airport, are what you'll need to get that permanent visa. Like I said, we've said this all to you before in a dozen emails, but we want to say it again because it's super important. And if you have questions about it, feel free to bring them up a little bit later, or an email if they're more personal. Alex asked a good question about what the difference between a certified copy and a notarized copy is, and I'm going to address that now. Outside the US, you should be able to get a notarized copy of your birth certificate. In the US, we don't notarize birth certificates, so you'll need to get something called a certified copy. I believe you can do it either through your hospital or potentially through the post office. Google it. I'm sure you can figure it out. I have faith in you all. And if that becomes a bigger issue, let me know and we'll investigate it from our end. The next thing that we want to talk about, and I know we went over this as well in the last webinar, but I know that there's still some questions around it and things that can be clarified. So we're going to talk about these kind of beginning of program things: stipend, deposit checks, insurance. For one, I'm going to go backwards on this slide. Insurance, I sent out the form earlier this week that you will need to get your insurance once you're here. You'll have basic insurance. It'll cover everything except for pre-existing conditions, dental, optometry, and mental health. So that's important to know. And relatedly, you should bring medication for the entirety of your program, or as much as you can. It can be challenging you cannot get prescriptions filled here with your abroad prescriptions. So it can be challenging to get those done here. There are ways to bring medication in, but it'll be the most easy for you if you bring as much medication as you can with you that you need on a daily basis.
I'll stop real quickly and just add in that if you are taking any type of medication, please consult your doctor from home in terms of how to take those. If things are changing, if you have timely issue with medication that needs to be taken in a certain time of the day, then just consult your doctor and make sure that you are fully aware of everything that needs to be done.
Thank you. The other things we're going to talk about are stipends and deposit checks. For the stipend, this is a sum of money you'll receive every month at the end of the month, meant to cover household things, groceries, depending on how you budget it. I tell people it can go a long way or a little way. That's up to you to an extent. You'll receive the first one at the end of September. You will get these stipends through a bank account that we will help you set up here. These bank accounts do take some time to set up, but bank accounts not being set up will not stop you from getting it. So please be prepared with money to get you through that first 6 weeks. But know that from September on, you'll always get your stipend at the end of the month, and you should budget accordingly. The last thing we want to talk about is deposit checks. This is written in several of the pre-program packets again. These are 3 checks of $1,500 that are meant to kind of ensure this grant from MISA. MISA is subsidizing a huge portion of this program. And so this is to ensure that if anything happens to your housing, or if you need to leave early or you choose to leave early, we can ensure your grant. So you'll need 3 checks. We are going to update you about where they need to be made out to, but please do be prepared and have those with you when you arrive.
I will say real quickly about deposit checks. There is no reason to cash them unless there is an actual reason to. And I'm saying that because I know that things are a bit different. The checks are not going to be deposited when it's not money that we're taking out of your accounts. They're being held in a safe with our accounting, and we're not cashing them before speaking to you if we need to. So that's something that's very important to just say out there, because it's a different thing in Israel than it is in the States. For us, it makes sense to say deposit check, but I know that in the States, or mainly in the States, it's not the same. So we're not cashing the checks unless there's a need to. And if there's a need to, we're gonna be in touch with you to make the decision on how would it be best to either cash the check or something else. So just putting it out there.
Thank you for that clarification, Nina. With that, I think that those are our kind of logistical updates and highlights. I want to give some time for questions while being aware that we are in a limited time, and I want you to have plenty of time with Zach. So if you have pertinent questions that will be relevant to the group, now is the time. If you have more personal questions, please send those to me directly, and we'll deal with them there. I see that there are some questions in the chat. Oh, phone numbers on the insurance form. This is a Penina question.
Yes, you don't have to fill it out now. That's something that we can add in once you have the phone number. So that's about that. And I'll take Cassandra's question as well in terms of roommates and which city you're living first. We're just waiting for final guidelines from the Ministry of Education and for final answers about the pre-program packet, the pre-program survey, because we want to make sure that we're dividing cities and roommates to the best of our abilities. So hopefully about 10 days or 2 weeks prior to your arrival, you'll know where and with whom you're going to be living with. How are you getting food during quarantine? Perfect question. Quarantine should be, fingers crossed, everyone, 24 hours. And Dahlia and Louis can share from their experience, but basically what we did is that you're going to have food waiting for you. That's what we're collecting all information in terms of food allergies or specific requests, so that we can actually accommodate you for the first few days to the best of our abilities. Are you in quarantine for a full 24 hours or just until the results comes out? Whatever comes before. But I'll be honest and say that in the next 3 weeks, things might change. So we're going to keep you posted with recent regulations closer to your arrival. Do you have to start with the visa application at home? No. You do not need to start that. We're going to send you a form to fill out once you're here. And we're going to have a contact person that is going to do it with us. I know it's been a bit confusing because at the beginning you were supposed to start it at home. And then thankfully, Sal was able to change the way things are done. And now you can do it from the moment you're here. What will going to serve as your visa is the little blue slip you're going to get at the entry. If you've ever been to Israel before, you know that Israel doesn't stamp your passport. It gives you a little slip. We're going to ask you to take a photo of that, send the photo to us, but also save that visa slip, because that's going to have that's going to be serving as your visa until you get your permanent one in your passport. Okay. But obviously you're going to get it in writing and everything. But the blue slip serves as your visa until you get your permanent one. I don't see we have any further questions. So if you do, please write it in the chat box. But meanwhile, we're going to just move on.
I'm going to back up a little bit. I think we missed one. Alex asked about the PCR test before the flight.
Oh,
72 hours before arrival.
Yes. And I saw there's one question now. Israeli bank accounts usually comes with a debit card. If you want to do something else, you'll be able to ask it directly. What Bina is going to do, we're going to schedule your appointments. We're going to make sure that you have all the forms in and everything, but the bank account is personal to you. It's your own responsibility. So we do not have access to those bank accounts. So you're going to be able to ask the representative who's going to treat your case if you want to do something different. Yeah, and you'll be able, usually you can wire funds. Usually there's like some fees, but that's very much depending on your bank from home and an Israeli policy. But yeah, now I'm actually going to move on, and next further questions we're gonna take at the end. But next part is kind of like what to expect. And with what to expect, Sam, can you go one ahead, please? I'm gonna say something real quickly about the first week. The logistics Sam talked about a bit before. The enrichment and educational program we did talk about before, but I'm gonna say a few other things. And in terms of calendar. So the first week, kind of like what Sam said, the first day is gonna be you guys arriving in Israel. We're gonna take, probably what we're gonna do is we're gonna take serological tests at the airport with a special professional, a lab that's going to come and meet us over there, so that we'll be able to make sure that it's being done soon. If it's not going to be at the airport, it's going to be in a different time during that week. And from there on, it's kind of like 10 days of orientation. We're going to send you the schedule soon. And we're also going to be sharing with you a Google Calendar for you guys to see everything. It's going to have everything specified in terms of when is happening, what's happening when, classes, meetups, webinars, and whatnot. During that week, we are going to have a full pedagogical day to get to know or speak more about getting into the classroom. We are going to have a trip day outdoors. We are going to have kind of like a local orientation of getting to know your own neighborhood, your own group. We're going to have a Kabbalat Shabbat together on Friday. You are going to have some time off as well. We're going to have one day with the entire MITF cohort from all over the country together in Jerusalem. So there are plenty of things involved. We're going to send you the schedule soon. And I think that was what we're going to do now is we're going to pass it on to Zach. Zach, are you here? So weird to call you Zach. Fish, hi. Fish is going to introduce himself, Zach. He's going to tell you a bit about his experience. He just literally graduated a month ago, July 1st, from the program. And feel free to write questions in the chat box so that Zach can read them. But we're going to take the next at least 10, 12 minutes to just hear from Zach's experience. And yeah, Fish, stage is all.
Yeah, let me take it away then. So like Penina said, my name is Zachary Fish. Everyone here has called me Fish the entire time, including the kids and the students. My experience here, how I displayed to everyone immediately, it was a unique experience because it's really hard to put into one sentence exactly how this entire program is run and how you are going to react to it and how it's going to be, a wonderful experience for you while you're here. The biggest thing that I can say is make it whatever you want it to be. And if you come in with that mentality, then it will turn out to be that way. I came last year, like Penina said, and we were in the midst of all of COVID and everything of the sort. Like you guys are doing, you guys are taking a PCR test and having like a 24-hour quarantine. I got here and had a 2-week bidud, which is isolation in Hebrew. And that is quite an experience to have when you move halfway across the world and immediately start a brand new program and a new job and everything of the sort. However, for that to be the case, this was one of the best starts to an entire program that I've done with a lot of different programs that I've done in my past. The reason being is the staff is absolutely there for you. If you guys have any portions that you're a little bit iffy on, if you don't know exactly what's going on, if you just want to really connect a little bit deeper so that way you know who you're working with, they're there for you, which is something that I found really reassuring. So please reach out to your coordinators. Penina is also she knows everything, but also there are other people to talk to as well along the way. So make sure to reach out to them. As for my teaching experience, my living here in Israel as a whole, everything of the sort, once again, make it whatever you want it to be and be flexible. A lot of things, especially with the Bina Tel Aviv Plus track, you are the only track that's a part of the overall Masa, everything of the sort, that you're going to move halfway through. You're going to change your entire school. You're going to change your location that you're living in. You're going to change your roommates, everything of the sort. And you signed up for that. So that, with one thing, is a wonderful opportunity. My favorite portion, I did Tel Aviv. I was in Jaffa first, and then I went to Ramla afterwards and spent the next 5 months there. I absolutely loved that I got to start in Tel Aviv. It was much more of a slow integration to living in Israel because the people are a little bit different than probably where you come from as a whole, and it's a nice little integration style. However, everyone who was in a periphery city to start also came back with glowing reviews of how they had families that were immediately welcoming them in, giving them the opportunities to meet people in the communities. And I cannot stress that enough. While you probably want to go to Tel Aviv, and that's why you're doing this whole program, it's really, really important that you make those connections in the periphery, because those are some of the strongest ones that I made. By meeting with your host families that I'm sure you'll talk to along the way, by just talking to your neighbors. In the Ramla house, my neighbors were my favorite people. Being able to say hello to them every single day on the way to school. They waited and they made sure that they were there. And then for Shabbat dinner, they would come on and quite literally bring us an entire meal for our entire house. And it's making those connections and getting to start. So like I said, be flexible, come open-minded, have a positive attitude. And then honestly, like they were talking ahead of time, Sam and Panina, you're going to change people's lives by doing this. Don't come as the end all be all, I'm here to tell you everything, I want to do this. Come as a person who's just someone who's completely foreign and is excited to be where they're at, and change experiences and exchange stories, everything of the sort. And through that, you'll connect with your students so much more. I spent more time talking to my students outside of class than in the class itself. And by being an only English speaking person, that's how I got my English teaching, my English help along the way more than anything else. So be open and be there for the students. And I promise they will receive it back to you. If you come in just as like I'm the teacher, I'm here, like we're teaching fellows. So we're here to be that added bonus that really puts us above the top and like helps these students learn a little more practical use of English in the schools. Just looking at the questions real quick, because that's just about my experience overall. I really loved it. To be honest, I said when I started, I was going to do my 11 months and then I was going to take the flight home and be back. I'm currently still in South Tel Aviv now. I'm here at least for another month and also job searching for while I'm here. I've worked in another summer school since I've been here. Honestly, that was set up by Bina by the time I was done. So if you put in the time, if you like it while you're here, they'll also take care of you all along the way. How did I find my volunteer programs? So the one that I did was it was called the ARDC, the African Refugee Development Center. And I absolutely loved it. Randomly one day, I actually got in one of our Bina group chats saying that they were just looking for extra people to volunteer. It seemed perfect for me. It was just volunteering online, doing more English practice, but it was with refugees at the adult level, which I found to be much more meaningful for me. I like teaching kids, but the conversations that I have with adults are much more entertaining to me. And so I feel like I get a whole lot more across to them as well. I still reach out to some of them even now. I would highly recommend being a part of this program. They're actually up and coming and really trying to expand. However, how other people found their volunteer program was just asking. There wasn't really a list ahead of time. There wasn't really like an absolute, like, this is where you should go to volunteer. With that being said, even during COVID, when a lot of places were closed down or couldn't accept a lot of new jobs, anything of the sort, if you wanted to work in a soup kitchen, there were soup kitchens available. If you wanted to work with animals, I know a lot of people that worked with animal rescue centers. We had in the first half, there was actually some people struggling to find things to do, and they organized their own beach cleanup. And I thought that was so unbelievable. The people that choose to do this program, Bina specifically, is a portion of the social justice movement. So I appreciate you guys asking about the volunteer aspect, because that's some of the most meaningful moments that you'll get from this program that you don't get in other Masa programs. We really do focus on it that way. So whichever program that you want to do or what kind of category you do, try to look for it yourself. And once again, if you don't find something or you're not really sticking exactly where you want, talk to your coordinators about it and they're more than happy to help. But go and find a volunteer organization yourself first. It'll make that kind of whole experience a lot more meaningful. Perfect. If there are any other questions or anything.
There was a question about free time during the, it was probably more about orientation time, but just in general, free time or kind of like the balance during the year, because there's so many components.
You know what, I see that question now and it kind of works perfectly into it because I meant to say something about that and I forgot. So my biggest advice, especially with only having the 24 hours of isolation and everything of the sort, and hopefully all that goes well, everything. BNOD does integrate time for you to have exploration days, or implements time for you to go out on your own time and really go do your grocery shopping. Understand that like within the first week, like you're moving across the country, they're people too. They understand that and they want you to enjoy and have a smooth transition. Once again, talking to your coordinators will help with like if you need that little bit of extra time. My biggest recommendation, my favorite thing that I did, especially right when I got out, was just walking around. Open up Google Maps, look at the immediate streets that are all around you, and just pick a point and go. I found some of my favorite places to eat. Literally, I was standing at the top of a park. I saw an awning that looked really pretty. I said, that looks like a good place, and just went in and talked to the owner. I spoke English. He didn't really speak much English. We had a funny interaction. And next thing I know, I actually went and got a laffa and slushie from that same spot probably once a week. Just go and walk from place to place. If you like to do something, go do it. And what I mean by that is like I was a big swimmer. I lived near the beach. I would just go every single day and I would swim. Next thing I knew, when I was in the water, there was someone there, and everyone out here talks to one another. It's, while a big city in Tel Aviv, it is also a small community, and the same people show up to the same places every day. So if you come with a friendly attitude and you just know what you like to do, I played football most of my days. Like when I had off, we would create different group chats and we would just kind of all meet up and go. This is from different Masa groups that then expanded into Israeli friends as well. And now it's a group chat of like 100-something people in it. We still play even now. So it's very easy to, no matter what your little niche group is, just make it known to the world. And I'm positive that, especially in the Tel Aviv area, you will find that niche group as well. Panina will give you extra time. There will be moments in between your programming. However, just remember that like the program comes first, and then you have to have that high energy to get that extra meaningful time as far as like walking around everything of the sort. But it doesn't matter what time of day, it is always a good time to explore here, in my opinion. So go check it out. Just walk around. Any other questions or anything about like my day-to-day life, anything of the sort? I literally will answer anything. If you want some like cold hard facts or something that you're worried about. My biggest thing is also packing, just what you think will give you your luxuries every single day. There's a lot of like, I took one specific hoodie from my house. And I can't say enough that one specific hoodie got me through so many different options, because to buy a hoodie out here is twice the price. And I absolutely cannot do that. So it was just like making sure that you can think far enough ahead. I had a roommate who brought a yoga mat and a foam roller, and I seriously thank God for her, because I needed that more than she did. And just play off of one another. Just figure out the little things that you think you can't get by without, and it's worth not bringing that extra shirt to make sure you bring that amenity for your house. I actually totally recommend that. And then on the flip side of that, when you get here and you realize that, oh man, I forgot this or this, it doesn't matter about the stipend, doesn't matter. Set yourself up for comfort while you're here, because you're here for 11 months and it makes a world of difference, and you will definitely pay itself off. Let's look at, so Alex, is it tips for getting an Israeli sim? Don't worry about it until you get here. Seriously, it's a phone call away. It's super easy, and it's also extremely cheap. It's going to kill me for saying this, but I didn't even get a sim the whole time I was here. I actually had a T-Mobile international plan. And I'm going to be honest, while I made it happen, it was not worth it. The bank, talking to Panina, and the amount of times I asked her for healthcare things, you need an Israeli phone number. And they actually let you pick your own number and write it all in, so it can be really close to the number you have already. But it's really easy. It's on Golan Telecom is what we did, and it's online. You make one phone call or anything of the sort. And if you have a problem, once again, talk to your coordinator. I didn't for this one, and I honestly suffered for it. But it'll be really easy. Don't worry about it. So you get here, worry about the other things ahead of time. If anything, you'll have Wi-Fi to start, so that'll be okay. What was budgeting like? Budgeting's real. You're working off a stipend. You're not working off a paycheck. You're not doing an hourly paycheck, anything of the sort. So just understand that that is the case and that's not being changed. So it's kind of almost reassuring then to know that you have a hard fixed number that you will have as your stipend. And if that means that you came with just a little bit of savings and you need to use it that way, then you need to just budget it out that way. If you have an excess behind, I still honestly would try to focus as much on just using the stipend that you get. The reason I say that, personally in Tel Aviv, it's expensive to live in the city. It's a big city. However, when I lived in Ramla, it was extremely cheap. And so you need to know that you have 5 months of each and the stipend doesn't change. So if you expect that you want to go out all the time in Tel Aviv, you want to go to different bars, clubs, you want to go out to eat dinner, everything of the sort, I would highly recommend learning how to cook black beans, chickpeas, and rice, because in the periphery cities, those are going to be dirt cheap. And then you can also get chicken for a whole lot cheaper, and cook them yourself. And like I said, also working with families and doing different meet and greets and eating that way. There are other ways to go about doing that. And personally, me, I spent most of my time cooking while I was here, because I spent most of my extra stipend, anything that I did, on rental cars. It's going to kill me for that one too. But seriously, I spent most of my time, because on the weekends you don't have buses. I made sure that I didn't do anything all week, because it's a stipend. I don't have enough to go out every single night and then go to a different portion of Israel on the weekend. But I prioritized, I really wanted to go camping somewhere new. I wanted to go stay somewhere new. I wanted to explore a different portion of this country, because there's desert to beaches to mountains, whatever you want, it's here. But I only had enough for one of those things. And I chose to rent a car and not go out and go to a bunch of bars and clubs. It was COVID, so it worked out better that way anyways for me. But just kind of understand what you appreciate the most, and then prioritize that, because you really only have enough in your stipend to prioritize one thing. Let's see. Can you talk more about your host family experience? Yeah, so I had a kind of a combo of a host family experience. In the first half, with it being COVID, I didn't have one. It was very unfortunate, but that happens. It's okay. The second half, I was matched with a very religious family. And personally, they didn't exactly match up with me, as people, with their views that they had, everything of the sort. And for me personally, I actually reached out to them. I reached out to my facilitator, Yarden, saying that I just don't think it's a very good fit. And because of that, we respectfully split and didn't really talk after that and everything of the sort. And that's totally fine. With that being said, I also met other host families across different peripheries and had beautiful dinners. I had one Passover Seder down in Beersheba, the nicest family I think I have ever met. They then turned around and also taught me how to drive stick shift, just because they liked me and the good conversation that I had, and they told me to come back down again. I was going down to Beersheba just because I liked it down there. And so they gave me the opportunity to also see them again. And the second you show hospitality or respect to someone, especially host families here, they're going to give it back to you tenfold. They're going to start off by giving you respect and everything, but if you really are interested in learning about what their home life is like, they will let you right in. I know so many of the people that I was close with here spent a lot of Shabbats at their host families and having dinner with them. And it's a really meaningful experience to be able to do that in the home, especially not being, at home yourself, being across the world. So take advantage of the host families, reach out to them, talk to them, and they really will bring you on cool experiences and talk to you, and also will give you or have dinner with you, everything of the sort. So let's see, can you talk about the host family? What did you do on your school breaks? Well, like I said, so I was big on renting cars. Let's see, did I do that for that one? Actually, I took a bus down to a lot it was during the Passover break. Public transportation is really easy here as well. While I was talking about renting cars. I like only did that because over the weekends they don't run. However, during breaks like this, they still run. And I would highly recommend just take the buses and like figure out where they run to. And then I invested in a tent. The first thing, I'm also a backpacker camper, so it works out that way. But like I invested in a tent and looked at the bus schedule of just where to go, and where it would drop me off closest to. It's a place called, here, I'll put it in. It's i.freecamp.com, and it just shows you a bunch of different free campsites that are in Israel itself. It's illegal to just set up a tent anywhere in Israel, and it's something to know about. I see that there's a question about safety. If you abide by the rules, you're safe. If you don't, you don't. And so that's a big decision to make. Here it is illegal to just set up a tent anywhere, and it's honestly for your safety more than others. But places like ifreecamp.com, looking up all the national park systems, everything of the sort, they're all within a bus away. And so that's what I did on most of my breaks. Britsiana Park, which is at the top of that mountain, is where the story of David and Goliath is. One of the most meaningful backpacking trips I took. I put the backpack on my back, got on a bus, got off a bus, hiked to literally the top of there, camped at the top, took the bus back home. And that was one of my favorite weekends I had. Haifa is very accessible and also has buses on the weekends. So that was really cool. And then for Passover, like I said, I went to a lot. It's a commitment to get down there. And honestly, I had someone else who rented a car down there and it made it a little bit better. However, it's totally accessible by bus as well. And I would highly recommend going down there at least once to go check it out. It was beautiful. It was a fun little resort getaway, but also it's kind of like the Vegas-esque style of Israel. Is just everyone needs to go there, experience it for themselves, and then you either love it or you don't. I liked it, and it was in between. I realized I didn't put that to everyone. Hold on. Yeah. So if you want to ask more about personal trips that I did or anything of the sort, feel free to message me. I'll leave in my email in here or my WhatsApp as well if you guys want to message me anything of the sort. I can send photos that I had. I can send like different areas that I went to. I'm totally fine to do that. Like I said, I'm still here, at least for the moment being. I think I'll be gone by the time you guys land. But totally accessible. Most people who've done this program usually are within some sort of reach to talk, even to the next people that come in. We got it ourselves, and we'd like to pay it forward as well. Yeah.
Can you say a quick word about safety and security, kind of like your own feeling in Israel, or yeah?
Yeah. So so what I said, at least while I was talking first, is like, stay within the rules. And the only reason I do say that is like, it makes your guidelines a little bit easier. Go with groups of people. If you want to go somewhere at night, don't just walk around. Bring someone with you for the walk. If you bring someone with you, then you're going to be safe. You're going to be fine. I can't even give you too many personal anecdotes of people who were found to be not safe while they were here, especially in Tel Aviv. I honestly can't tell you, because I can imagine that would be where you'd be more worried, as being in a city. It's a city, don't get me wrong. But like I said, everyone kind of knows people here in this area. The community is very well driven of that sort. As long as you stay in groups, especially at nighttime, then you'll be fine. I just can't imagine that there's too big of a safety issue. There's really security that's around the area. Me personally, I don't think I ever felt unsafe. I had one experience where there was one random person in I was down on the beach late at night, someone in like one of the drainage ditches, and they yelled something, and it was freaky. But you know what? It was like 2 a.m. I was trying to just go for a late night swim, and probably wouldn't recommend that for the average person. So if that's the situation you want to put yourself in, you'll end up with that experience. If you don't, then walk with someone at night and be just wary of that. You're in a city. Other than that, like the Ramla house, we locked our doors if we were all not there. Other than that, like we were safe. We had neighbors. Everyone knew everyone. So.
Thank you so much, Fish. I appreciate you joining us. It's nice seeing you again.
Yeah, good to see you as well.
Around the city. You can leave, obviously, your email. Feel free to reach out. We're also going to have some other connections with program alumni. before arriving to the program, but also in the first week of orientation. We have some notes that people have left you that you're gonna get once you get home to your new home. So we are gonna keep on this connection because we do have an amazing group of alumni that are, some of them are still here and some of them that are not are very much, as Zach said, they wanna pay back. They wanna make sure that your guys are gonna have the experience that they had. So thank you, Fish, for joining us. You're welcome to.
I was gonna say, just real quick, so this is my email and my number that I put in the chat. I'm also gonna drop just one name and a phone number of a barber. I know it's a little bit early for you guys and everything of the sort, but I have just the best barber that's in both Ramla and Tel Aviv. He commutes back and forth each day, depending on the day. Does wonderful like lineups, everything of the sort. My hair literally was completely short when I got here. Now I have a fro that it's completely maintained. And she also does phenomenal color job and women's haircuts as well. So he's just good for everyone. So I'm just putting his number in the chat. After that, I will probably go. Like I said, reach out to me. I'm here.
Absolutely. And we also have his number, and one of somebody else left it. So I guess it's a really good barber. But with that being said, I'm passing it on to Sam to quickly touch, because we're 5 minutes late, but they're quickly next steps. Sam.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so we're going to jump real quick into just things you need to be focusing on before you leave in a couple weeks. These are really important, so stick with me. If you have not, I'm going to go out of order again. Sorry about it. If you have not already, go register for the MASA grant right now. Like, once you get off the Zoom call, go do this. If you do not have this personal MASA grant link for you, email me and I will get it to you ASAP. Other than that, completing that list of that I have sent out 3 times in the last week and a half. These are like really key last minute things. When Panina was, not even last minute things, they're really key things. When Panina was talking about letting you know your city assignment and your rooming assignments, she should also note that something that you can do to find that out quicker is making sure that you've filled out the pre-program survey. Once we have those, that's also a really key element for us getting that information to you. So a little bit of motivation there. Also, flights, if you've not submitted your flights, you need to do that ASAP. The memorandum of understanding that Vanessa talked about in the MASA webinar at the beginning of July. There are a couple other things listed there, but those are the 3 big things I'd say please do when you get off this call. Other than that, be aware that I'm going to be in touch with you maybe a little bit more than you're used to over the next coming weeks. And it's really important that if you get an email from me asking you to do something or letting you know about something, please confirm that you've received it and that you understand. There's a lot of information going out, and it's really important that you don't miss any of it. As Panina said, there may be changes in regulations or updates about different elements of the program. And we will be sending those out, and we want to make sure that you have them. That is all the things I want to touch on. I'm going to quickly ask Panina if she has anything to add to that, or if I missed anything.
Yes, I'm just going to say real quickly, Sam also attached a link to a Drive folder that's updating with information. This folder now has plenty of information, but it's going to have so much more as we go. We're going to upload the yearly plan. We're going to upload, there's the program guidelines that you can go over, and we're going to be asked to sign. There's going to be information about your cities. There's going to be information about different educational components. There's going to be information about insurance. So take a look. This folder is going to serve us throughout the entire year. So create yourself some kind of like a tab in your favorites in your computer, and just check on it. Everything Sam is sending out will eventually be in this folder as well. So that is going to be easier for us to search for information rather than just, look over your email. Next week, there is another closing webinar with the entire cohort of MITF at MASA. Everyone together, the focus is more social rather than logistics, but there's going to be time for questions and logistics as well. And you're going to be getting information about, or kind of like an introduction for your personal staff soon as well. Those are key things. I think that's about it. Sam.
Definitely. Other than that, stay safe and healthy. And we are so excited to have you guys in Israel in just a couple weeks. If you have questions, we'll stick around for a bit. But other than that, thank you for joining us. And yeah, we hope you're